All right. Hello, everybody. How are we? Hello, Michelle.
Hello, hello, hello.
All right. I'm super excited for today. People are going to be popping on. So as you come on, if you can share in the chat who you are and where you are tuning in from. We have people all over the world popping on today, which is really exciting. And the reason I ask where you're tuning in from is because Michelle and I like to help people build their businesses. That is what we do. And so you never know who's watching. You never know where your next referral is coming from, and you never know who you're going to inspire. We have some people watching this live. We're going to have a lot of people watching this on replay. We'll make sure to put the replay on YouTube as well. And so make sure in the comment section you say who you are, where you're tuning in from, because we want to give all the referrals to you in all the places that you live. And I am going to go ahead and share my screen, make sure everybody can see it. Give me just a second.
This is definitely going to be an exciting hour, that's for sure. When you get the two of us.
Okay, can everybody in the chat, can you let us know? Can you see my screen? Can you see me and can you see my screen and also me and Michelle? Yes. Yay. Awesome. Okay, we are ready to rock and roll. This is such a big topic. We're so excited about this. So we are going to be talking about finding your big why and watching it double your income. Michelle, we're obviously going to dig into who you are and your backstory and everything, but can you share with us just a little bit of like why this is such an important topic and how this can really make an impact on not just your business, but your life?
Yes. Number one thing, you guys, all high achievers have a big why. That is the basis of any business model. And with this will give you a strong purpose, because if your why is strong enough and big enough, the how will just follow suit. And that's why it's a big why.
That's such a big deal, right? So like I've heard that. And in the beginning of my career, I heard that like if the why is big enough, the how will show up. And I think in the beginning that was really confusing to me. And the reason that I wanted to dig into this is because when I first got into real estate, I'm doing the door knocking, I'm doing the open houses. I didn't have the business yet. And I remember everyone was talking about their big why, and everybody's big why. They were all
I remember I didn't even have one. I was like, I don't know, to go to work.
Why was their kids? Like everybody's big why was their kids. And when I started, I didn't have kids. I was in an unhealthy marriage. I'm paycheck behind a paycheck. Just a quick question. How many people on this webinar with crystal clear clarity know what their big why is?
That is so big, the crystal clear, because without clarity, without a goal, there's no focus. And focus should be, it's like my favorite F word, besides free, focus, right? So if you don't have that focus, there's no clarity and there's no habits, none whatsoever.
Yeah. And I think, one of the toughest things for a real estate agent is focus, because we're like shiny object, squirrel, right? Like we're excited about the things out there, but I think it's really hard. And so in the beginning, when they were like, what's your big why? It was really frustrating for me because I didn't have it, because I didn't have kids. And I did not think that I could have a big why that was big enough just for me. I thought I literally was like, well, I guess I'll find my big why when I have a family. But reality is, like, right now, who you are, who I was then, I am worthy of figuring it out. I think you just like sometimes have to ask the questions. And it's also like, it's so easy to get complacent in our business and not want to lead generate and not want to do the things we need to do because it's hard. It is.
But sometimes when you're like you and I, and we're drivers, we're like, okay, the big why is for us. The big why is for us to show up and be the best version of us as possible. Because if not, we don't succeed in our minds, right? Because we need to show up. And then sometimes that's, go ahead.
No, I just think, you're right. And it's like, I know that like what I do today, I see a paycheck 90 days from now. And the challenging thing is always lead generating, always showing up, always make sure you build your business, do the lead gen, do the social media, do your open houses, reach out to your database, do the business to business, for sale by owners, expired, all the things, client events. There's so many things we can do in real estate, but if you don't know why you're doing it, it's really hard to continue to do it. So today we're
Also,
going
if you don't have that focus of that list, it's
to,
got to be written down. If not, it's a dream, right? So if you don't have that focus, you don't know what you're doing, right? So there's no purpose, there's no mission, and you lose your focus.
yeah. So what we're going to do first I'm going to share a little bit about who I am. Then Michelle's going to share who she is. And then she's actually going to walk me through an exercise of helping me figure out what my big why is, because I haven't done this in a really long time. I actually haven't done this since I have had children and have had a family. I have written my big why down a long time ago. I wonder if I can even find it while we're on this, because I didn't have a family yet, but I knew that like what I was doing and why I was doing it had to be bigger than any excuse I could come up with to not do the activity. So my quick backstory, I got into real estate. I'm Rachel. Hi, for those of you. I've been in real estate now for almost 13 years. I got into real estate in 2012. There were short sales, there were REOs. Everybody said, don't go into real estate. My grandma was in real estate. My dad was a real estate broker 42 years, and I don't like to listen to what people tell me to do. So I jumped in. And my first year was insane. I'm door knocking 200 doors a week. I'm doing 3 open houses a week. It was really challenging. And then I didn't sell any homes for the first 4 months. So I'm knocking all the doors, doing all the open houses, and I didn't sell any homes. But I will tell you why I was doing this at that point for me was bigger than any excuse that I could come up with, because I wanted financial freedom. I wanted to feel joy. I wanted to not like, I don't know if you guys have had the experience of living paycheck behind a paycheck, but I will tell you there's nothing more stressful than financial stress, if anyone else knows that life. So I'm in a really unhealthy marriage at that point. I'm paycheck behind a paycheck. And I heard this quote of like, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And I just wanted a different life. And so I knew continuing to do the open houses, continuing to do the door knocking, even though I hadn't seen the result in those first 4 months, if I kept doing it, it could change things. And so I didn't sell any homes the first 4 months, but I sold 39 the first year, then 109, then 123. So 3 years in, I hit Wall Street Journal's top 1,000 agents in the country. We still have that designation today for my team. I'm located in Northern California. Send your referrals. I'll send them your way. And, you know, it's been a wild ride for me. I'm a coach. I am married to the most attractive man in America, as you can see on the screen.
Back up, chick.
And I've got 3 boys. I have a little guy named Henry, who is 3.5, and all the sass that comes with it. I have Harrison, who's 1 year and 6 months, and I have Hayden, who is 6 months old. So it's a little wild. Michele, can you share who you are, please?
Yes, I can. So team leader and for over 12 years, and top R2 in Northern California and Hawaii recruiter. And this morning was my first time on a worldwide KW call. So that was pretty exciting. I was able to share all of our scripts and models that we do right now as a team leader. I oversaw 5 offices. However, today I'm living a life by design. I'm a team leader over in California, Premier KW, and also a coach with Rachel Adams, Level Up. I've been married for 27 years to the most handsome guy in the world. 2 beautiful kids. I have a 22-year-old Matthew, who just graduated from Stan State on going for his master's. I have a daughter, Alyssa, 24. Operations manager at Lululemon. So that's pretty cool, but that's not her end game. That's what she always says. She's going back for her master's, and her end game is being a physical therapist for pediatrics. She has a beautiful, warm heart. Mm-hmm. And I love supporting agents and getting them to the next level. There's a lot of testimonies, and you could see what we do. I absolutely love what we do, Rachel. It's an amazing journey. Well, and I'm obsessed with acai bowls right now, to the fact that I even downloaded a franchise and sent it to my daughter. I'm like, I think we need to do this.
My gosh, you're so crazy. I know. I was like, tell me a fun fact about yourself, because mine is I love Nutella and I think it should be its own food group. And she's like, I'm obsessed with acai bowls. So I was like, okay.
I am.
Those of you watching, what is one fun fact about you that nobody knows But if I was creating you a bio sheet and I said, what is one fun fact about you, put it in the chat so everybody can get to know you a little
Oh, that
bit.
would be fun. Yes, yes,
Oh,
yes.
it's
And
easier than
put in the chat if you're an agent or if you're in leadership, just for curiosity's sake.
Yeah. And so Michele is the team leader, right? So she helps agents build their business. I am the agent. I also help people build their business through social media. We've got a lot of agents on here. Okay, awesome.
We actually, I'm a black belt team leader. I won the Eagle for Northern California, Hawaii. We won Turnaround Market Center of the Year. We won net recruiting for our Stockton office. So it's been pretty exciting journey. I love how now, though, with what we're doing, we're able to help individual people as well, more so.
Yeah. And so the reason I asked Michele to do this is I think, in real estate and just coming from the agent perspective, you're told all these different things to do to build your business, right? You're told to door knock and to do open houses and to talk to your database and to, do client events and to do social media and to do video. And you're just like, oh my gosh, there's so many things. And then what happens is life shows up. And when life shows up, it is challenging. And I have had some, health experiences the last month that just total transparency completely knocked me off my game. And I had to, for the first time in my entire career in real estate, I took 2 full weeks off social media. I still have Amber Stedman. I still have to respond to you. Like, I have people who've been reaching out to me, and sometimes in real estate, you're all in. Like, I think about real estate because it's like seasonal, right? Like, I love real estate because you can build this massive, big business and it can support all your goals. But, and at the same time, when you have to take a step back and focus on your health because something happens, you can do that. You can build this big, incredible business and then have the systems in place to help you continue. The hardest part is the consistency piece, right? And I think if you can figure out why you do real estate, like why you actually do this business, and that reason is so important, it will push you past the times where you don't want to lead generate. It will push you past the times where you don't want to make that phone call, where you don't want to make that post, because the reason you're doing it is almost bigger than yourself. And our goal is to be the best version of ourselves. And so Michele is going to actually walk me through an exercise on how to figure out my big why. And as we do it, I want you to go through the same thing and ask yourself the same questions that she's asking me. So take your own notes. We will give everybody a recording of this that registered for the class. And then we have some other stuff.
I would love for people, if they're not too shy, to actually put some of the answers in the chat, and then maybe we could chat back and forth with that as well, because it's important. You know how you were saying, Rachel, sometimes you just don't want to do it. You just don't want to do it. But what's nice, I always suggest take a deep pause, just close your eyes and take a deep pause, because typically when we start our coaching moments, we already talked about the big why. And I'm like, go grab that picture that you made me, because I actually have them make a picture, a collage of something to be able to really work on it and be able to see it and dig deep for themselves. Because it's so easy to say, I just want to be the best version of me. I just want to be the best realtor out there, the best leader out there, and bring people, together with me, which is wonderful. But sometimes we just got to dig a little bit deeper to really want to get our feet on the ground.
So are you saying like you have them make almost like a vision board that
most definitely. Yes.
That's a really good idea. So because we do vision boards with my real estate team, and like at our team retreat, we always do a vision board because it's like your life's always changing. But I think the big why, to have a why you're doing this and to have visuals, because thinking about it's one thing, but seeing it every day, like that's even more powerful.
So sometimes people get stuck. And so when I'm coaching, I say, take a picture of it and put it on your phone. Because when you text me, you're like, gosh, I just, whatever. I'm like, look at that picture right now on your phone. That's going to motivate you. That's going to make you get on that phone and push you through. So again, it's all about how big is your why? The one with the biggest why is going to be thinking the biggest.
Yeah.
Because we always coach that, right? We coach, think bigger. Now think bigger than that. And the only way you're going to do that is if you have the big why, purpose, mission, it's actually a need that gives you more focus. And so focus is.
Walk me through it. So let's talk about it. So I am an agent coming to you and I am maybe struggling with consistency with my schedule. I'm not sure, maybe my numbers are down from where my goal is, where I want it to be. Those of you watching this, why don't you share with us in the comments what made you want to watch this webinar? What about this triggered you? Because we'll be able to work that in. And then Michele,
that's key, right? Because if you think about it, sometimes there's habits that we need to change, right? So, because our habits are so powerful and our habits become the choices of the results of our habits. Right. So this is kind of a no-brainer. So we have to change the habits. We have to be looking at our daily, I'm sorry, I just looked at the chat. So we have to change our daily activities to support our big why, to support the reason why we're here. So let's pull it back. I want you guys to write this down. Okay. So T with an arrow, F with an arrow, A with an arrow to an R. So it's TFAR. Your thoughts lead to your feelings, and your feelings lead to your actions, and actions lead to your results. So remember, even in bold, right? We talk about that. Our emotions make you act, and logic makes you think. So just be thinking about that. That's huge.
You say that again and say it slower, because I think that's really good.
Yes. Okay, so obviously when you get the two of us, we're like, I was wondering how this was going to work. Okay, so thoughts lead to feeling, feelings lead to actions, actions will lead to your results.
So are you going to break that down for us?
Yes, I am. So you ready? All right. So Rachel, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to think about this. What truly motivates you? Okay.
In life?
Just what, I don't want to answer for you. Just what motivates you? And when you just rattle it off.
Yeah. So my kids motivate me, making sure that they have all that they need in life, love, food, shelter, like making other people happy is something that really motivates me. I like to bring value and joy to other people. Helping people build their business is really important to me. Like I want everyone to be the best version of themselves. And I think it's because I was in a really dark, difficult place when I started in this industry, and this industry has given me everything I've wanted in my life: the husband, the kids, the money, the security, right? So I want everyone to feel that.
So think about this. No crying. Think about where you're going to be in 5 to 10 years. What's going to keep you going out of that list right there? What's going to keep you going? What's going to be that thing on your wall, that picture on your wall that's going to keep you going? You talked about your kids, you talked about others. What is it? What really motivates you?
I think I think the easy answer is to say my kids, because if I see a picture of them, I want to make them proud. But you said I'm not allowed to cry. What?
I know. I knew this part was going to be hard for us. So
I think security.
So security, maybe your legacy to them.
Yeah, security, because I've been in a position where I couldn't pay my bills and I didn't, feel loved, and I had that harder part, I never want to feel that again. And I feel like I've made all these choices now and put people around me that give me that. But I don't know how I put a picture of security on my wall.
So what you want to think about though, 5, 10 years from now, Henry's going to be in what grade? So you got to be thinking about college. You have to be thinking about how you're going to fund that. How are you going to fund the next son, right? Because you have sons, And then you want to teach them, you want them to keep moving forward. So how are you going to fund that? And, how is that motivating you, right? So again, what we're going to do is paint the picture, right? And then we just dig a little bit deeper. So bottom line is you need to choose one. What is that one thing that every time you look at that picture, it's going to make you go, okay, it's gonna like tear that wall down immediately.
I mean, for me, it's going to be a picture of my husband and my kids, because like we like getting up in the morning to do my lead generation. I do my lead generation. So in 90 days, I can get the business so that I can go on the vacation with my family, so that I can get the quality time with them to build the memories, right? Like that's
Right.
like, I don't always think that much through, but that is like,
But that is ultimately the why.
Yeah.
It's like building the memories is what I just heard.
It is building memories, but like when I didn't have kids, I was like, I want to live my life by design, which for me, that meant like doing what I want to do when I want to do it with who I want to do it with. So I guess for me, it was also freedom, like freedom financially, freedom of my time, like, right?
So, right. No, I get it. So, and then what we do is we write this all down, right? So obviously we would have some time to really, really dig deep and write it down. And sometimes it's nice to cut it out. So we would have something to reference. And then I want you to think about this. I want you to share with me what it would feel like 10 years from now and you've achieved this.
Yeah.
What would that feel like? Tell us about that.
So for me, like when I think about like my real estate goal, like obviously, so my world's a little bit different, I think, than the traditional real estate agent, because I'm a real estate coach as well. So in my world, I have my real estate coaching company. And then when I coach agents, I'm helping them build their business. So then they grow. So all these people around me are like leading bigger and better lives because of my coaching.
Because
But
you're a
then
leader.
right. But then they also have referrals, and then they come back to me with, then they feed my team. So then my team can build their business and hit their goals. So
what we would do at this point is we would do a GPS, because obviously we would break it down for you. This is the 135, right? So we would have that goal and break it down. And so we would have.
So explain the 135, because a lot of people, we have people non-KW on here, and a lot of people don't know what that is, and they don't know what a GPS is. So can you like break it down? So
we're going totally in a different direction right now.
I think we'll get back on track.
Yeah.
But I think it's important, if we mention something, we have to explain what it is, because not everybody.
Totally. So you have one goal,
okay,
right? And then 3 items that's going to support the goal. And then you break it down with 5 activities for each of the 3
goals,
priorities, if you will, for the goal. So
let's
let's say
be like how many houses you want to sell, or how much money you want to make.
So for an agent who's not a team such as yourself or a coach as yourself, they would have, let's say, 20 transactions. Well, then how are you going to break it down? You have listings, buyers, and I always suggest, who do I need to show up as, right? For the third one, or what actions or what activities do I need to be doing for the third one, right? So the third one would be like going to Bold, going to family reunion, reading this book, reading so many books per year. So you break it down that way. And then listings would be, how do you get more opportunities to achieve the transaction count that you need in order to hit your goal? And then you open houses, door knocking, things like that.
So part of figuring out the big why is also like knowing what you're going to do to build your business.
Yes. So that would be like step number 2, but I'm going to bring this back just a little bit, right? And I want you to think about, what would it feel like? Because right now, remember, the emotions makes you act. So
first you said it was thoughts. So is the thoughts the beginning?
Thoughts lead to your feelings. Right. Feelings leads to actions. Actions will lead to results. So the
first we have to think about what our big why is, right?
And that's what I want you to do, right? And that's what we talked about. And then now you're going to just get back to the emotion side of it and really feel what it would feel like when you do achieve it, right? And then the thing is, what we're going to do is, what would it feel like if you don't achieve it? So it's not a great feeling. And so when you're coaching, We talk about that. And there's been a lot of tears when we're talking about the big why, because sometimes we stand in our own way of achievement, and they'll look at it and think, I can do this, Michele, I can. Sometimes it's all about accountability. And sometimes it's just holding that piece of paper up and seeing it over and over and over. This is my big why. This is why I need to get on the phones. This is why I need to make sure I close 3 transactions, 5 transactions a month, and so we dig deep that way, and we talk about the emotional side of it, because it's not pretty when we're not hitting our numbers. And honestly, if you're not achieving those goals, you're not leaving the legacy, you're not able to make the memories, you're not going on the trips that you want to go on, you're not feeding the others on your team if you're not achieving your goals. Especially with you've got a lot of mouths to feed.
Totally, literally and figuratively.
Right, that's what I'm saying with the team. If you're not lead generating up here, you're coaching your team, their family.
Yeah. Well, and I think there's a lot of pressure in real estate for us to show up, whether it's like show up on social media, show up for our team, show up for yourself. And so I was really struggling with the big why when before I had kids, and I was like, the way it was explained to me is like, someone says like, why did you get into real estate? So you guys in the comment section, write out for us, why did you get into real estate originally? And it's okay if it's money. It's okay if it's time freedom. It's okay if it's helping people with their dreams. Like there's no wrong answer, but it was like, why did you get into real estate? And then the second thing they said to me, because I was like, I didn't feel like financial freedom was a big enough reason, or I felt like it seemed selfish. And so I didn't feel comfortable writing it down, because I was like, what answer are they looking for? In reality, there's no wrong answer here, you guys.
There isn't, but if your why is big enough, all that financial stuff will be taken care of.
Right.
The financial freedom will be taken care of. So if your why is big enough, it will happen. Mm-hmm. You just need to figure out what that big why is, and really think about it in the sense that if I don't hit my numbers, if I'm not lead generating, if I'm not doing the open houses, because a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I'm going to do 4 open houses a month. So did you do them? I remember you telling us that you did 2 a day. I mean, like 2 on a Saturday or 2 on a Sunday, because you were so laser focused.
Yeah. So in the comments, a lot of people are saying time freedom, financial freedom, assisting my family in building generational wealth.
Yeah, leaving a legacy. I love that one.
Yeah.
So that would be something. So something like that would be, obviously you would have to dig deeper, and it's more about leveraging and learning the whole, career visioning and leveraging the team around you that you would need support, right? So it's just growing.
What if when someone explained it to me, because someone's like, your big why, they just kept saying find your big why, and I was like, stop saying it. I don't know what it means, right? Like it's frustrating if you don't know. Someone said to me, if you didn't get paid to do real estate, like, why would you do it? Why would you still want to do it? And I was like, okay. Because I didn't understand the big why. I didn't get, they just kept saying it. And I was like, this is so frustrating. But I think
it's like that hurts if you're not doing it. It's hurting inside. It's like deep inside of you that, oh my gosh, if I don't get that paycheck, it's not going to happen. So let's back it up. Matthew wouldn't have been able to go to college if I didn't, do what I did. Alyssa wouldn't have been able to go to college. You know what I mean? And oh my gosh, I couldn't even imagine that, them not going to college. So I do remember a friend of mine, OP, if I would just put it out there that it's going to happen, and that's all there is to it. There was no question in my world that it wasn't going to happen. I just knew what I needed to do. That was my big why, because I was not going to fail my kids. There's just no way.
Well, I think too, it's really easy to, if you sit down and we've done this on our team where you write out your perfect schedule, the perfect dream schedule. And then it's so easy to wake up that morning and be like, I don't want to make the call. So what you have to figure out is why you're actually in this industry. And then I like the idea of so let's do that next exercise. So first you think about why you're doing it. Then you have to feel the okay, I'm doing real estate for this reason. This is why I got into this industry. So you feel the good of you 5 years later, you look down and you're like, okay, so let's like actually do it, you guys. So 5 years later, you have achieved financial freedom. You have sold the amount of houses you wanted. If some of you have part-time jobs, this is now your full-time job. You have hit your goal, you've hit your numbers.
What is
How
that
does
feeling like? Oh my
yeah.
gosh, what does that feel like? You know, are you celebrating with your husband? Are you taking that trip to celebrate? Or your partner, your best friend? Are you going out to a magnificent dinner in the city? What are you doing to celebrate? And
So
how
what
does
I
that
want you
feel?
guys to do that are taking notes, I want you to take a minute and we'll give you a minute to write it down. We'll just stay quiet for a second. I want you to literally first off write down why you got into real estate, what your goal is, whether it's amount of houses you want to sell, how much money you want to make, financial freedom for your kids, you know, the self-worth for you if you don't have kiddos, whatever this looks like. Write it down.
And
Then
again, that's okay. If your big why is being the best version of you, waking up every single day and killing it, that's okay.
so then we want you to imagine 5 years from now. So everybody's for a second, close your eyes, like literally close your eyes. So you have a goal. There is a reason you got into real estate. Say that, I'm just going to put this out there. Say that your goal was to make $1 million, $1 million in real estate in commission. Imagine 5 years from now, you're a millionaire. You make $1 million in commission. Financial freedom is yours. You can do what you want, when you want, with who you want. It's all on your terms. Just take a minute, close your eyes, and think about all the different people in your life. Think about how you feel waking up in the morning. Think about what car you're driving. Think about where you're
being
living.
able to go to sleep at night.
Yeah.
Actually sleeping at night peacefully.
That's so huge. Think about how
Oh my
life
gosh, huge.
and just let
What
it
would that
sink in
feel
for you.
like?
5 years from now, you have hit your goal. The reason you got into real estate, financial, whatever it looks like, the goal of this 5 years from now, you have living that life. You are that person.
You've reached it. You are the it girl or the it boy. Yes.
You made the schedule. You wrote out your goal schedule of what it would look like in real estate. And every single day you follow that schedule and the listings come in, the buyers come in, the referrals are coming in. You're killing it on social media. You are living the life you always dreamed. You are a mega agent. People are coming to you asking you for help because you know the answers. How good would that feel, you guys?
Put it in the chat. I want to see that. How good are you feeling right now? Exhilarating. Definitely. What's interesting is that a lot of people do have to change their choices and their habits in order to really, truly hit their goals because they're not doing the activities they're supposed to be doing right now, or they're standing in their own way of success. They're the ones who standing in their own way. And that's what
people stand in their own way. Like, what are some examples you've seen people do when they're standing?
Make up excuses.
Mm-hmm.
They're, you know, it's what is that? The bold law. You can have excuses and results, but you can't have both, right?
Yeah.
And so even sometimes with coaching, I have to reel them back in. I'm like, no, you're getting in the way of the reason why we're here today. You want to tell me a long story instead of me holding you accountable. But that's not why we're here. It was for me to listen to the long story about your daughter, blah, 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 right? It's about being held accountable to the habits, which is the choices that we make.
So imagine how good that felt. Now go to the flip side. Imagine what happens if you don't.
If you don't, that's what's the hard part. That's the sad part. That's the one that's going to break your heart and break somebody else's heart.
Like, imagine not being able to provide for the people you love or for yourself, having to get a full-time job somewhere else, having to work for someone else, having to do something you don't want to do.
Having to get a part-time job because you're not doing the activities to produce the results that you're looking for.
Like, it all comes down to your choices. It really does all come down to your choices, because I can choose to pick up this phone and dial, or I can choose not to. I can choose to make excuses to not show up on social media, or I can choose to show up because that's how I build my business. And
so
everything
high achievers have these big whys. You have to keep thinking that and knowing it. If you want to be that high achiever, you have to have that big why. The big why will produce the big models to go with it. It will. So if you think about it, I think it's page 72 in the MREA, the first two habits or the first two system and model is the big why and the big models right underneath it. So that's the basis of a millionaire real estate agent. Page 72, I think it is, or 71. So it's nine ways a millionaire agents think. And it's all about mindset. This whole thing that we're talking about today is about mindset. So I really encourage you to think about it and be willing to change the habits that you are in. And so you'll have more clarity and you'll have power. You'll have power over your business. And that's what you want.
That I found that I liked. It says a big why is a reason for doing something that's going to drive you forward. It's a big enough reason to drive you forward despite your opposition, your challenges, and your struggles. It has to be more than just a reason though. It's got to be something that you can connect with on an emotional level that drives you. So when the going gets tough, you can think of it as your purpose. You can think of it as your mission. Your big why is the reason that you keep moving when things get hard.
Yes. So how many people have figured out what their big why is right now, just from this call? How many people are thinking differently?
It says that your big why is hidden in the pattern of your thoughts, your feelings, your behaviors, and your habits. So if you're wanting something different, but you keep doing the same thing over and over, you don't know your big why because it's not big enough to get you to change. It's not big enough to get you to show up differently. So you have to get crystal clear. And I think the hard part is that what if you don't achieve it? What if you don't figure out what that is? Then you can't move forward.
It's like, what habits are serving you well and what habits are holding you back? And are you brave enough to recognize it?
So let's take a minute. Let's actually write that down. I want everybody to write down 5 habits that they do in their life every day or every week. Write down 5 habits that you do right now in your life and your business that are serving you. 5 things that you do in your life, 5 things that you do in your business that are serving you. So everyone write down 5 different things that are actually working in your business right now that works for you to build.
It's the hard part, is be quiet right here.
So you're writing 5 different habits that you do, whether maybe it's working out in the morning, maybe it's journaling, maybe it's eating healthy, maybe it's, time with your Bible. Maybe it's you stick to your schedule. So you're writing 5 habits that you do that push you to your goal. And then you're also going to write down 5 habits that you do that are holding you back from being the best version of yourself.
They're standing right there in front of you and you know it. You see it. You do it.
You know what they are. Like, I know that one of my goals that holds me back from being the best version of myself is not exercising in the morning. Because if I don't exercise in the morning, I make poor food choices, which gives me less energy, which makes me less motivated, which makes me not want to do my lead gen. So a trigger for me, a good habit is working out in the morning. Something that holds me back is the habit of not working out in the morning, which again, it's the good habits are the harder ones to hit. So you're going to have good habits, you're going to have bad habits, and you have to look at your bad habits and you have to think, why am I doing this? And if you can't figure out
snowballs
why you're doing it, it totally does. That book from Darren Hardy, right? What is it called? Compound effect. He said that good, consistent activities give you good results, right? You want to lose weight, eat a salad every day. You want to gain weight, eat chocolate cake every day. So good activities add up, but so do bad activities. And so if you're not hitting your goals, there's something you're not doing. If it's like truly, like when we are working, we should be working. I think one thing for a lot of people that's a bad habit is being on social media and not lead generating, just scrolling. Think about how much time you spend on your phone that you're not actually building your business.
Yes. So if somebody is, because we're in a safe place, right? Is that what we say? We're in a safe place. Go into chat and tell us, what habit are you going to stop? What habit are you going to stop? Put it in the chat. Nobody's putting it in the chat. You guys, I know you have it in you, so go ahead and do it. Because a lot of people are probably thinking it too. And they're not.
Like, if you're not sure what a habit would be, what is something that distracts you? What is one distraction that you have in your life that is holding you back from being the best version of yourself? When I was early
playing games on my phone.
Yep, we appreciate that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's talk about the phone. Watching all those funny things. I'm like, oh my God, that's so funny. I got to share it with everybody now because it's so funny. And that holds me back sometimes. So I'll put it out there too. Definitely. That's funny.
Something in the morning is like grabbing my phone and scrolling on social media instead of the first thing I do is like reading something that's personal growth that's going to get me in the right mindset to make the right choices the rest of my day.
I lead gen the first thing in the morning. I do a post. I have a certain way of doing things, and then I go work out. And I've been doing that for the longest time. And then I post something about the workout because I know it's supporting the agents around me who want to work out and lose weight. So I do things purposeful, if you will, right? Because we need to change the habits and have good habits that are more purposeful for our goal. Does that make sense?
So first you have your thoughts, then we have our feelings. We thought about how it's going to feel when we hit the goal, feel about if we don't hit the goal. And then what is the action part of it?
It's the action.
So how does that relate to the big why? What is the action piece of all this? Is it what you do next?
Yeah, well, it's your habits, because your habits are creating your choices that you're doing, which are the actions, because it's all about the activities. What activities are we doing to produce the results that we want? So again, when you chunk it back down, it is it's being more purposeful, because you know what the big why is. It's being more purposeful.
I want to see if I can find my big why.
I wish I would have had my board up, because one year I would have to say I hit 90% of them, which I was so excited. And one was getting accepted in the Nike run and having Alyssa do it with me. And it was right there. And I'm like, oh, and it was really hard to get into that run. Yeah. So if you see it all the time and it's up on your wall or it's on your phone, you're going to have it right there. And then you can be more purposeful with your activities, and your choices will be better because you're building better habits.
I remember before I had kids, again, like my struggle was everyone's big why was their kids. And I was like, I don't have them, so I don't have a big enough reason. I remember that I wanted to be a wife and a mom. I desperately wanted to be a wife and a mom. And so my big why was to show up as the best version of myself. So I said, my big why is to live a life by design and become a wife and a mom. Because I knew that if I did my lead gen, like if I did my exercise, if I did my journaling, if I did these things that made all these good choices, then I was also going to lead gen. I was also going to do my open houses. I was also going to door knock, because the best version of me does those things. So it was all about like the big why was like, what would the best version of me do? And so that's something I want you to think about when you're going through these questions, and when you're waking up in the morning. Should I work out? Should I not? Should I eat this? Should I not? Should I make that call? Should I not? Should I send that email? Should I not? How should I respond in this transaction? What I think about all the time is like, what would the best version of me do? What would the best version of me do? And then you show up as that person. My goal was to be a wife and a mom. I wasn't ever going to meet the right person if I didn't put myself out there, but I couldn't put myself out there till I got clear on who I was and how I wanted to lead my life and the conversations I wanted to have and the conversations I'd allow around me. And like, I had to learn to love me before I could love someone else. And so it was this whole crazy process. And at the same time, what would the best version of me do? They would figure out what they needed to do for lead generation and they would put it on their schedule and they would follow that schedule. And then when I became the person I needed to be, that's when everything changed for me. That's when the opportunities showed up in real estate. That's when the come listings happen. If you're continually doing your lead generation, the come listings call you. But if you're not doing lead gen, you're not going to get the people that want to buy or sell with you because they don't even know you're in real estate.
I would have to say the best feeling in the world is when one of your clients texts you back and say, I lead gen for an additional hour today, and this is what happened.
Yeah.
Or I actually did X, Y, and Z. And oh my gosh, guess what happened? You will not believe who called me back. Or I actually dug into my database today for the very first time in 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what happened.
That's powerful.
It's amazing. It's very powerful. 100%. Yeah. So I hope this can help people. This is like huge.
So what happens then after your actions? Then results come from that? Is our results?
Yes.
So your thoughts lead to your feelings then lead to your actions, and your actions leads to your results.
Yes. That's what I asked you to write down in the very beginning.
Okay.
Because we're at the end. And so it's the actions equals the results. However, how clear are you on it, right? On your why, because that's what's going to produce your habits and your choices. How clear are you?
So if someone's
clarity's power
right now, if somebody still right now says like, I get that I have some good habits, I get that I have some bad habits, I still am struggling figuring out my why, what would you tell them?
Give me 15 minutes and let's dig deeper. And just really, really dig deep, because it's there. Sometimes it just needs to be asked over and over and over. Yeah. I don't know. I can't see everybody who's on there. And so there's a gal, I won't say her name. She's over in Texas, let's just say. And she's been coached with many coaches, but nobody dug as deep as we did together. We did it together, her and I, and she was really she is so focused now. It's so amazing when your why is powerful. You need a powerful why. And we just dig deep.
And then the reason that I said it can double your income, the reason why we labeled it as this is I think that so many people do this and they're like, I want to make money, so I'm going to get into real estate, or I want to have some freedom, so I'm going to get into real estate. But then they might not achieve the success that they wanted as quickly as they wanted. So they get out, because the reason that the industry has such high turnover is because it is not easy to be in real estate. The market
and people think it's easy, and it drives me crazy because they're in control of their own success.
Yeah.
And so we actually had a class on listings from a very powerful listing agent right now. Why wouldn't you want to learn from them? So people didn't show up, the ones who were struggling with listings. And this is the ultimate time, is to show up and be the best version and learn from the best, so you could start using their habits to become your habits. That's what you want to do.
That, like, you're the average of the 5 people you hang around. And I think that that's so powerful, because if you're hanging around other agents who are like, the market sucks, there's no inventory, like, that's literally, so I created a Facebook group called the Lady Leaders of Real Estate. That's why I created it, because I was hanging around people, even though it's Keller Williams, right? I was hanging around people who were like, the market sucks, there's no inventory. And I was like, yeah, it does. And I was like, but how is that going to help me hit my goals? If I just focus on the things that aren't working, that doesn't work. So with your big why, like, the whole point of this conversation is just to get you thinking differently. Your why you're doing this has to be bigger than any excuse that you can come up with, because the excuses are going to come, that life is going to show up, things are going to get in your way.
How strong enough are you?
Yeah.
To be able to push that aside and get focused? How strong enough? How meaningful is that big why? Are you going to allow things to get in your way? Are you going to allow it so you're not succeeding? So when you go and 5 years from now, you have to answer to those people that I didn't achieve it. I wasn't able to do X, Y, and Z, when ultimately it was you who was standing in your own way.
So I think what would be a really cool exercise is for you to think, watching this, all the reasons that you got into real estate, all the things that you want to achieve. Make a vision board with it. If there's 5 things, 5 people, 5 faces, whatever, if it's financial freedom, if it's that beach house, if it's the memories with your kids, if it's self-worth, right? Whatever it is, put it on something in front of you. Put it on a vision board, print it out and put it in front of you. So every time that you pick up that phone, you remember why you're making that call. Every time that you're negotiating that contract and it gets hairy, you remember why you're negotiating that contract, because the reason you're in this industry, the reason you're doing real estate is big enough that it's going to be bigger than any excuse you can come up with.
Right. And just remember, you can change your habits right now. Right now, you can get clear on your choices right now. It's up to you. It is up to you.
And so one thing that we wanted to offer, Michele is actually a coach, as we talked about. And so if you are struggling with your big why, or you are wanting to get clarity on like your schedule, and you're like, I know I'm doing these activities, but I'm missing a piece of it. Michele is doing a free one-on-one coaching call. She will offer it to every single person on this Zoom if you want to do it, because she believes in this so incredibly much. In the chat, I'm going to go ahead and copy her link for you so that you guys can fill out a form, and she's just going to ask you some questions about you. This is, again, it's totally free. It's just, if you're struggling like I was with why you're doing this, it can be really, really helpful. And Michele, do you want to talk about some of the things you'll share with them on a call?
Yeah, well, obviously with the big why, we would dig deeper on that, but then we can also talk about your goals. We can talk about how you're going to obtain them. We could talk about your daily activities, your weekly activities. How are you tracking them? Are you tracking them? 9 times out of 10, people aren't tracking their transactions, even where they're coming from. And we can also dig deep on your P&L and really make sure you're lean and green and really working your business the right way.
Michele has a lot of agents that she has helped go from, 5 transactions to 50, or from 10 to 30, or whatever it is. So she will talk to you about what your goals are and help you fine tune that. And then at the same time, if you are feeling like you are wanting a mastermind group or some accountability or more structure in your business, I have something called the Coaching Crew, where it's $29 a month. Twice a month, I go in there and I coach. And one of the next things we're going to be coaching on is literally how I went from 0 to 250 transactions my first 3 years. So I'm literally going to walk you through how I got my schedule figured out, the exact activities I did each day, like literally how I time blocked, what that looked like. We talk about, I went through and did all my marketing that I did for 2023, how I broke into the luxury industry, how I doubled my buyer business with the showing agent model. Sometimes it's how you're hiring your first admin. Like, there's no limit to what we do. So for mine, you can go to the Coaching Crew, Rachel's Coaching Crew. If you want to get more information about that, it's $29 a month. You can cancel anytime. And then for Michele, if you want that one-on-one conversation to help you really dig into your big why and have her go deeper and deeper with you, you can fill out the form that I just put into the chat for everybody.
Which when you do coach with me, you also get a little bit of Rachel as well. So it's kind of exciting.
Yes, totally.
Yes.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for your time today. We just wanted to have this conversation with you because I feel like for a lot of people, the big why is something that's just difficult to figure out. And so my goal is for you to come up with a sentence of, if someone says, why are you doing real estate? Like, what is your big why? Right? Like for me, a lot of it is helping others find their passion so they can live a life by design. That's why I do coaching. Helping people live their passion so they can find their passion so they can live a life by design. I'm going to put in the chat one more time for you guys on here, for Michele's link for you guys to schedule a call with her. And then obviously I'm the Coaching Crew, Rachel's Coaching Crew. If you guys have any other questions, of course, you know where to find us. This is just a conversation that I think needed to be had. A lot of people get stuck on why they're doing this. So we just wanted to work you through a little exercise Your thoughts leads to your feelings lead to your actions leads to your results. Figure out your good habits, figure out your bad habits. Why are you doing this? The reason why you're doing it has to be bigger than any excuse you can come up with. If you don't know it yet, that is okay. This is why we have that free coaching call with Michele, for her to dig a little deeper with you.
Let's talk about also, in a couple of weeks, we're going to do the GPS and the 135. So we can gather all again, and we can talk about the goals and really dig deeper. And we'll have a document that people can print out, and we could just be open and chatting away. We'll have it on a different, like if somebody has comments, they can actually maybe talk about it too. It'll be good.
So we talked about, a lot of people look at their schedule and they know, okay, I want to sell 100 houses this year. Okay, great. So if you're going to sell 100 houses, how are you going to do that? And you say, well, I'm going to do open houses. Great. So how many open houses are you going to do? How are you going to find those open houses? What are the script you're going to use to get the open houses? Right. When you get the open houses, what's the price point you're going to focus on? What's your conversion when you're in that open house? Like, there's so many pieces to it. So we're going to help you break down each of the ways of lead generation to help you just kind of dig a little deeper.
Hey, Jennifer, I see you. I love that. Good, good stuff here.
And thank you everyone for attending today. Michele, I appreciate you. If you guys are watching this, we will send you the replay, and we'll see you later.
All right. Take care, everyone. Thank you.